Perfetto. Ok, shall we?
Ok, meno uno.
Ma sì, dai. Okay. Hi everyone. We're going to start a presentation of Roberto Polli about will IPython replace Bash? Please turn off your cell phones or shut up the ring and enjoy.
Hi everybody, wearing after. So I start, excusing for my English. English-speaking people are welcome to speak slowly so that I can understand. Let's start this presentation with what we're going to talk today, how IPython speed up my productivity and help me to improve my Python confidence. I am Roberto Polli, I'm community manager at Babel.it. I love writing in some languages. I started with C, Java, and now I embrace the Python philosophy. I got some Red Hat certification, and today I want to thank my proud sponsor that pay me my hotel bill for being here, Babel. This company where I work delivers large amount of infrastructure based on open source software. So, let's start with one assertion. Bash rocks. It really rocks. If some of you started working with the C shell or with Korn, knows how Bash rocks. So we'll see some simple example where that Bash covers and that some other shell node, even IPython. And we show some simple Bash patterns. Then we see a small comparison between Python and Bash, the strength and the limits of both. And at a certain point, we ask ourselves, okay, this Bash job is going to start to be problematic. Can Python save the day? This is, with this talk, I state that even system administrator that doesn't love programming can gently learn Python and in the same time being productive. They don't need to just waste time theoretically, but they can do productive things while playing. And then we see some real-life scenarios using fields of an output, parsing some proc files, start reusing stuff. This is a great advantage with Python. You can take your history with some modification, put it in Python modules, and then they started this way and they became a library. How to use Flask. Flask is a very nice micro framework that allows you to create a simple web application, or web application in a simple way. And if you need to expose some monitoring stuff, for example, the memory status, we'll see the memory status of a computer, and we'll write a script and expose it with less than 5 lines of code to a web service. And then we'll see nose test, that is a nice test framework that even people that is not interested to learn how the Python testing framework works, to write some tests in a very efficient and simple manner. With Python, you can manage it faster. So, Python versus Bash. Bash is the shell, and Python is the web spreading system language. Why don't find a reunion? I made this snippet for a Python course. It's, well, it's provocatory, but let's have a look. Which of those scripts do the same things? Which is more readable? On the right side, it seems just like some Perl voodoo. Actually, that is the correct way to use Bash. If you use Bash and don't use another shell, it's because you can lower a variable without using sed. You can split and replace without doing echo pipe sed. But this is more readable. If I have to pass, during a course, a man told me, hey, I know Bash. I work with Bash from 5-7 years, but I don't understand what that means. Okay, well, is there somebody that doesn't cover Python at all? I think even if there is, he can understand what does that snippet do. So this is one point for switching part of your work to Python. Let's look at the function of Bash. What does Bash do? What does it do right? Bash do right job control. Because, well, if you run Bash, except for some fork bomb, Bash doesn't host.fork. So everything is quite linear and manageable. Bash can do very nicely simple pipelines. So we just exploded this zip file in the wrong directory, and we just want to remove the file we just added. And even more useful, a clean I/O redirection. The first line is just a simple Kerberos login. Does the following: create a temporary file with the string secret inside, and then pass it to the standard input of the preceding command, and lately delete the temporary file. Okay, just all these in 3 characters. Okay, this is really useful. And the second one is just like a common standard in and standard redirection. Bash does it very well. Another one, brace and globbing. I can create with one line 20 temporary files for testing, but beware, Bash 3 behaves differently from Bash 2. It may create 1 to 20 or 0, 1 to 20. So those commands behave differently. A nice thing of globbing on the first line. Another feature is really cool. History and real-life substitution. When you type something in Bash, it's first parsed and modified by the readline library, and then is interpreted by Bash. We'll see this after, but it allows us to do the second line, just global substitute on the previous command, foo with bear. So this is a very nice shortcut. We can type long commands. The fc built-in bash built-in opens our favorite editor and let us write our command, and when we save, it will execute. So those features are really useful, and they made a difference with previous shell. What do we want to achieve? Where we can improve? Well, safe system scripts. Well, if somebody works with Bash, knows what the first line do. When we create a file with the dash behind, the Bash globbing will add that string to the command. So the rm star will remove the directory too, because it becomes rm minus rf and so on. So this is really an issue. It seems stupid, but if you look at scripts that you find on the web or of some colleague, you'll find rm star, and that's evil. Readability. Everybody knows what those 3 lines do. This is an old way of doing things. This is the World Taekwondo Federation. And many people which I speak to tell me, okay, Python is more readable, but hey, Bash scripts are shorter. And then I ask them, are you really sure? Are you really sure? Because do you have RM on your PC? Okay, RM you'll probably find, but replace with another long command which won't stay in the slide page. You should check if you have the command, and then you have to use that strange array notation to avoid that files with blank lines inside will be managed strangely when you do stuff like exec, eval in the rest of your scripts. So this file could be a simple rm --star, but actually if you want to take some control on the file, if you want to put it in a procedure, we'll probably should log. I'm going to delete this file. This file has been deleted or not. And this is going to start to be weird. For example, we should even check the exit code of the command with the man page. We should see if the rm failed for example, permission issues, or should exit because the file does not exist. There are 2 different exit codes. Thanks to Python exceptions, we have it for free. Another issue, code consistency. Bash 3 that you still have on, well, at least on my customer legacy system, there is both Bash 3 and Bash 2, is different from Bash 4. So maybe you just prepare a script on your PC and it plainly doesn't work in production because not only bash version is different, but because AWK version is different, grep version is different, Perl version is different. In using a more comprehensive language lets you just check one version. Python 3, Python 4, 2.4. But what 2 is given. Let's look at this simple comparison between bash 4 and bash 3. Bash 4 with double square lets you implement regular expressions. And another nice redirection stuff, pipe and commercial E. With bash 3, we should echo pipe grep and then make a further redirection with redirecting standard errors to standard output and then grep. So those are small difference, but if there is 2 or 3 people working and you need an assessment not only on the code but even on the feature. And actually I found that many people, many bash users didn't know or the feature or the difference between the versions. And this could be an issue because when you go in production you should recheck everything. It's one more step. So those are some wishes. Let's start with plain Python, just the one you have on your PC. CPython delivers an interactive interpreter with limited read line and history support. Even if you go up and down with arrows, it means that usually there is libreadline that is parsing your input. So things are going to be good, but differently from bash, it requires parentheses, string quoting. On the other side, it has batteries included. You got Python, you got Telnet. Did you ever install some hypervisor machine? It's just really bare metal with a kernel and some virtualization libraries inside. You don't have Telnet, but you have Python. So if you need to Telnet, just Python -m telnet lib and you have a Telnet client. The same is for other libraries included into the Python standard library. So even on Solaris, I needed to make a simple MD5 hash, and there was not the command installed. Okay, I told to my colleague, stop, check if maybe there is Python. You have Python, you have an MD5 function to use. So it starts to be everywhere, and it's going to be useful, even to people that doesn't seem interested. Maybe some of you do know, I didn't know, so I share. CPython shell can autocomplete. Just use this line because this bind is the secret. It's just like the bind built in bash. It tells, it configures readline. It configures how to parse the input string that you pass to the interpreter. And then even if you are some strange machine with nothing installed but Python, you can autocomplete and learn try to use Python libraries, even if you doesn't know them. But there is a shortcut. You can use IPython. IPython interactivity plus equal 1. You can do plus plus in Python. It's easy to install. It comes in various flavors. You can use just a vanilla IPython interpreter. You can use a prepared environment with a lot of mathematical function. Or you can use my favorite one, the one with some shell built-ins. You can configure it with this simple line, and you can customize prompt, spacing function, shortcut modules, and almost whatever you want. You can even mess with the code because, hey, it's in Python. You got the code and you don't have to rebuild it. Okay, why I like IPython? It has a shell pass-through. If I just type a command which doesn't conflict with the global scope or local scope of Python, it just executes. So I can ls, I can use alias. Actually, the version which I have on my system for this kind of stuff uses os.system. It can capture both standard data and standard error. Just use a bang before the command. Actually, by default, it doesn't split. So you just have standard output, a standard error on a subsequent string, and it is put into the ret variable. And you can get exit status, which just resemble the bash standard exit status. A couple of things. The output in ret is a flexible object, an IPython slist object. This slist object can do some useful things that we are going to see. Beware, exit code, this one, might not be exactly as expected. I found in many cases, but my fault, I didn't dwell exactly a lot. It's just a 16-bit shift. So if you have 0, you have 0, but if you doesn't have 0, you have to shift by 16-bit. So, some features. Just like put ret and get my resolve.conf. Just 2 lines. When it represents the string, the object, it seems just a list. ret.s is just a space join of this list. ret.newLineString is just a /n join of the object, and this is a good starting point for parsing a scripting. You don't have to always reiterate writing the commands, waiting to find the exact syntax of Perl and AWK if that regular expression requires to protect with backslash the plus sign or not. You just have the output and you just play directly with the output without always retyping and retyping the same things. IPython has various magic. There is the autocall magic, the edit magic, the debug magic. Everything starts with a % is just adds functionalities to the shell. If you type % autocall, you are just telling IPython not to require parentheses around functions. So, ret object as a grep method. But instead of stating ret.grep, parentheses, quoting, bubble.it, you can just enable autocall automagic stuff use the comma automagic to tell to stringify the passed objects, and this transform this string in red.grep parenthesis quote bubble.it. So this is starting to resemble a shell behavior. So if somebody tells you, okay, I love bash because I don't have 2 quote strings, you should tell him 2 things. 1, always quote even in bash because space exists. Second, actually, if you don't want to, you can do it even in IPython. Expansion. Okay, we can pass Python stuff to the shell, just use the braces. We can get the PID output and put into the red variable. Consider the following steps. IPython parses the line and expand contents in braces. Prepare the command, fork exec, and the shell interprets the commands. So beware, look at this. The star is interpreted by the shell. Parsing system files, we just get the current process memory status, and we can replace AWK with fields, the fields method. We can fields 0, and we get the first. We can move the columns. We can use range star magic to get a range of fields, and we can get the last fields independently of the length of the lines. To unpack data, we can make a simple function. This function get a key value string and put it into a dictionary. So this becomes key, VM peak, key values 27,308. Okay. Fill this function is more generic, and I just put it into a file and put it into the IPython profile startup directory, just like you do in etc profile.d of Linux, and you can add all your functions. And then let's see a simple IPython script. Just use IPython like shell and use .ipy as extension. I got fields. I got sleep. Well, tonight I sleep a few. We can grep directly and get the output. So you can still use bash stuff. We can convert it into a dictionary and format with the Python string format. Okay, so it just gives me for each line VM size, VM resident size, VM swap. It's really short, it's very readable, and well, you can just use it into your in your shell. Watch out some pitfalls. Beware of bash expansion and substitution. First, IPython replace the dollar function. This is a Python variable. Python replace this variable if it exists in its scope. For example, if fn equals cwd, then it becomes this one. Then there is a host system. So this bash shortcut is going to be interpreted in the host system, in the forked environment. So if you want to get the actual command line, you cannot do this into IPython. You should expand at Python level. Clear? Expand early and in Python, unless you know what you're doing. This is the good one. This is the evil one, unless you know what you're doing. Okay. OS system uses bin shell. So this does not work because bin shell doesn't support pipette. I used a quick and dirty solution that is just edit this IPython file and add the executable parameter to the subprocess function. It's really easy. Somebody asked me, why don't you use OS environment get shell here? So just use the user shell. Okay, I am pro, I could use it. But there is people that doesn't trust OS environment. I think those people shouldn't use OS system too. So, okay, everybody uses threshold. Plotting system data in 4 lines. A system administrator must plot. Collect data. Okay? This line takes the 7th field of the output and grabs with the string time. Okay? Then it's just like takes the second part after the equal, because fields just split by white space. Okay? And show. Really, it's that simple. And you have a distribution of your round trip time on your system. Okay? I think this is important, but I find people that is not interested in plotting. Strange. Flask keys. Scripting with Python, you'll collect a lot of useful snippets, because everything you write, you can retrieve with the history magic. And actually, it's really easy to get the snippet and put them into a script, or maybe let them become a library. Flask is a web microframework. Everybody knows Flask here, at least for the name. Okay, so this is a sample script, just like you just have to use the root decorator, tell which is the address you want to, register. So when you make a call to localhost /memview/pid, it returns a string of all the VM stat of the machine. And really, you have a web server exposing one service. You can reuse your IPython library, the field is function that you put in your IPython stuff. Actually, can't use the bang command syntax with Flask. At least I wasn't able to do it. I think there is a problem with the forking, because, well, here I am using just like a embedded container, so there is a process, you are listening sockets, so you are forking. Okay, nose test. The 3 simple steps. Put your test files in a directory, run them, nose discovers and runs them all. Really, it's that simple. Here there is a small script that pings to machine and use TCP test on the 80 port with a 1 second timeout. With ICMP, I should use host.system or exec, because ping is as the sweet bit set, because ICMP requires root privilege. So you'd better, it's faster to use host.system. And okay, when I run /test, all those tests are run. If I put even more files, nose will auto-discover them by the test name of the function and will run them. Really, it's that simple. 2 bonus tracks. IPython autocomplete helps learning new API. Just a simple example, the Ovirt open source virtualization infrastructure and the 389 LDAP directory server. We can just install, this is installed from IPython. And here I'm just importing the API, logging in to my virtualization infrastructure, list all the machines, stop them, and log exceptions. Okay, I stop maybe 100 virtual machine. Okay, I should make controls and so on, but okay, I am in a hurry. I need to leave now and I want to shut off my virtual machines. That's it. 4 lines. If I don't know how to use it, just type tab and you'll find VM and find list. VM.get tab name, it tells you. And then 389 directory server, just clone that's not mine, it's a library that very rocking people have read out right for testing, and I just take it and started to organize it, and they were so kind to let me do it and merge my patch. Use it, enjoy. If you use 389, it's a good hit. Just connect to the server. Do you need to configure the directory server to use SSL, but you don't know how? Don't do it, but if you still want to, just type setup SSL and it is done. This was the weird old name. Okay, don't you remember? No, IPython will autocomplete. This gets the replication status of the directory server. But my development release includes method name refactoring, so you can just type ds.replica.status or .agreements. So, well, tab can always help. And then, the answer. Will IPython replace Bash? Not in the near future. Mostly because, well, Python is anyway a lot of stuff. IPython is even more a lot of stuff. So I think not. But IPython can lead to a different use of Bash. Using that simple snippet and replacing bin shell with Bash, you can still have all your Bash magic into IPython. And that's really useful. And I think, my opinion, IPython will complete with weekly interactive tools like Perl, AWK, and SAD. It's a tool, surely a tool you shouldn't miss. So, okay, that's it. Hope not to have to be boring. Hope you enjoyed. And well, again, excuse my English. And have a nice day.
We are sorry, but now we are out of time. If you want question, I'm afraid you have to seek for Federico Polli around. And well, yeah, I'm sorry. This evening there shall be the pie barbecue, and if you are submitted, don't forget about it. See you.
Welcome.
comment. Do you know PyTest?
Excuse me?
Py.test.
Py
It's a
dot-
library like Nose, but better. Check it out.
Sì, 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 sì. You're right, prendo il my stuff.
Sì, sì, beh, certo.